Welcome to Inspired by Design, the podcast where we explore the tools, stories, and insights to help you rediscover your authentic self and navigate life with less resistance. I'm Katie Rupert, a former hustle and grind overachiever on a thrilling and messy journey. I love to share what I'm learning and help others in self-discovery using human design. So, if you're seeking a way to move forward, let me be your weekly mindset coach and share stories to inspire you to action towards your unique purpose without the force or burnout.
Happy New Year! I'm excited to have our first Inspired by Design episode of the year. Thank you for being a listener, whether this is your first episode or if you have been with us since Valentine's Day of last year. I am just thrilled that you are here. And gosh, I can't believe we're rounding up on a year of doing this podcast every Friday. It is just so incredible. As I reflect on 2025, I just keep thinking about how grateful I am for all of the amazing things that ended up happening. This podcast launching as a little dream baby nugget so many years ago. And here it is, episode, 48 or 49. And gosh, I'm just so grateful. Even if you weren't listening, I would still be doing this, but I'm so glad you're here. And you just don't know how much it means to me when you come up to me and say, hey, I listened to that podcast. Or sometimes I'll get a text. My friend just the other day was like, guess what I'm listening to? I like K-pop Demon Hunters too. And I was just so excited. I feel like there's community built in a listener audience. And I haven't been in this role other than this particular podcast, but man, I have been a loyal listener to so many podcasts over the years, and it does make you feel like, you're part of something. And so I hope if that's true for you, like it is for me when I listen to podcasts, that it serves you well. And here we are, 2026. It's the first day of the year when I'm recording this, and I knew what I wanted to talk about. Kind of had this idea baby there for just giving you a few things here at the beginning of the year, end of the year. You just kind of feel bad, I guess, when it doesn't happen. Or you push yourself and then you feel this pressure. And if that's not you and you've got this amazing goal setting thing, then by all means, keep it up. Enjoy, do it. And if you are more like me, where like you procrastinate doing it, and then when you finally do put something on paper, you're like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do that. And then you get all stressed out about it. Maybe a few of the tools and the habits that I've picked up along the way will support you. Now, a couple episodes back, I talked about word of the year. And so if you did pick a word of the year, I would love to know what it is. Then this last episode we did was with Adrienne Swanson, and her and I talked a lot about moving with the seasons of life and holding lightly, and not just going with the flow, but really looking to use your energy, let it ebb and flow, and then know that there are seasons of life and identifying what season of life you're in, etc. So if you haven't listened to those two, these are a series that I put together so that you would have some real practical tools as you start your 2026. Now, I want to talk about the moon today, because as I look back over the last year, one thing that I did consistently every single month without fail was a new and a full moon ritual. And when someone says they do a moon ritual, it can be kind of like, what a weirdo. I don't know about that. But let me just tell you why it's been so helpful for me. So as someone who grew up going to church and always having that Sunday check-in, it was always like, you have your week gets busy, you're doing your thing, everything's crazy. And then you go to church on Sunday and you kind of slow down and you reconnect with your people and you come back to what you believe and your faith. And then you start your week again, and you never get too far gone where you're not connected at all to your faith. Right. That is what I look at the moon ritual is very similar to. So this is not in place of your weekly church or any faith ritual that you have, or any even daily rhythms that you have. A lot of us have rhythms that revolve around eating so that we don't feel sick, exercising so that we have energy. A lot of us have rhythms just around like our kids' school schedules. And some of them are defined for us in a way, and some of us are intentional about them. So I started this moon ritual. It just really caught my attention. And as a manifesting generator who gets to be interested in all the things, and I get to go follow the rabbit hole for all the things, and I'm going to gain energy from doing that, this was one of my things. I started going to astrology class with my friend Tess about 2 or 3 years ago. I go every time I can, and I learn a little nugget. And one of the things she does at the end of her astrology session is she'll tell you when the next full and new moon are. Now, it took me forever to figure out, like, what does this mean? Why does this matter? All of that. And for me, when it comes to the moon and having a ritual around it, it's really just a built-in rhythm checker. It's not about doing more, but about tuning in. So whereas like having a faith community or people that you see, like right now, for example, I have these external things that I do to stay in touch and be consistent with things that I love and things that I believe in, be it, faith community. It could be church. It could be like the Reiki circle that I go to. I do a meditation once a month. And I also, I go to yoga regularly just to connect to my physical body with my breath and my mind. So whenever I think about the moon, this is a chance to go inward, to quiet, to really reflect and come back to yourself. This is something that was really missing for me in the past. And with the new year, we've got a new calendar. There's that familiar pressure of like, ooh, something new, fresh, I have another chance. And yet, really, it's nothing but a date, because we're in the beginning of winter when we're supposed to be resting and rejuvenating and reflecting, and not really in a brand new beginning at all. We're still hibernating. Okay. But our calendar in the West is like, hey, we got to fix our whole life in January. We have to like make our SMART goals, and we have to ignore the nervous system, ignore the circadian rhythm, and just push through, pretend that the sun is shining brightly in the dead of winter when the ice is making us want to sleep more. And we are just supposed to just push through, burn ourselves out, and then we quit our goals or never even get to them because we don't have the capacity for that. And then we feel like a failure by mid-January or February. And by the time that new beginning, that spring, that new life is actually happening, we're like burning out already. So, all right, I'm kind of going off the rails here, but such is the life of knowing Katie. So let's reframe this with this one little practice. Okay, so you already know you need to take care of yourself, right? Self-care. But instead of making it about another to-do list, another thing you have to do, something that you have to add, what if you use 2 times a month? And I'm using the moon cycle because it happens every month. Okay. It's consistent. Every single month, there's going to be a day when there's no moon to see and it's a new moon, right? Darkness. And then every single month, there's going to be a full moon where nothing's hiding it. There's no shadow. All right. So it is just a beautiful, natural opportunity to check in with you. Let's talk about what they are. And they're really simple. It took me forever though to memorize it. So don't you just write it down 14 times like I did until it sinks in. New moon is new. Think about new life, planting seeds. New moon is dark. You can't see the moon. All right. So when the moon is dark and you can't see it, you're going to think about dirt and earth. All right. And planting seeds. So when I think of planting seeds, I think of digging a hole in the dirt, putting the seedlings in, and starting to water them. That's our new moon every single month. So at the new moon, sometime in that week, what you would do is say, what seeds do I want to plant into my life that I'm ready to grow? What is it that I want more of in my life? What's working? And what do I want to grow? Okay. So it's not about like adding to your to-do list. This is simply a time to get quiet. You don't have to like do anything. It's allowing the noise to stop, unplug, and maybe visualize your internal garden, if you will. Fresh soil, something new, a blank slate. What do you want to plant in your life? Our next new moon is happening January 18th. So if you want to mark that date down and just write down, what do I want to plant in my life? What do I want to grow more of in my world? What am I ignoring that is saying, hey, this is for you? Okay, that's a new moon. Think about what matters right now. Okay, the other thing with the new moon is you want to think about your direction, right? Planting, growing. What direction am I moving towards? Am I facing that direction? Okay, we're not looking at outcomes here. We aren't trying to fix anything here. We're just observing, checking out which way we're facing. Are we still going the direction that we're wanting to go? And hey, maybe the direction changes and you just need to do a little turn, a little tweak. And by the way, you reserve the right to change your mind at any time for any reason, period, end of story. Okay, let's talk about the full moon. Full moons are bright and beautiful. They're full light. You go outside and you see the moon. This is the one everyone's like, oh my gosh, kids are crazy on the full moon, or oh, it must be a full moon. Everything's weird. All right, full moon, even people that don't know about the moon know that the energy is different. And so, how do you work with it? The full moon is all about light revealing what's no longer working. I like to think of like, what am I holding onto? What am I gripping onto that's kind of hurting me right now? Like, what have I held on too long to? And if you think about holding onto a rope, for example, I water skied growing up. So let's say you get hold of this rope and you're holding on for dear life. And for a while, it's keeping you up and you're skiing and everything's fabulous. And then at some point, something happens and you're like, oh my God, I have to I have to let go of the rope. My ski fell off. I hit a big wake. Something's going on. I'm on my belly now. If I grip onto that rope, I am only going to cause myself harm. The boat's going to pull me. I'm going to get belly, what is it? What do they call it? Belly flops. I'm going to go down. I'm going to get hurt if I hold onto this rope. And so when it is time and you're no longer riding that wave, you got to let go of the rope. It's a lot less messy, a lot less painful. And so if you're holding onto the rope, you're getting that rope burn, the full moon is going to reveal, oh my gosh, just let go of the rope and I'm going to survive this. Okay. Makes sense. So when letting go becomes the right thing to do, not a failure. And sometimes this is hard. Okay. I know it's just, the full moon is about making room for what's next. And think about these things working in a cycle, right? The full moon helps us release clear space, maybe tend the soil. And then on the new moon, it's clean and clear and we can just plant our seeds and start growing them. But you also, taking the garden metaphor a little further, if you've got a lot of weeds in the garden, even if you plant the best seeds ever, they're going to get choked when they start to come up. There's not going to be space for them. You have to pull the weeds. You have to get rid of it. There's this one verse in the Bible that really caught my attention as a kid. And I always think about it. And I need to just look it up. One of you probably know what it is, but it's God's face was so bright that his countenance like got rid of everything that wasn't serving you. The word is sin in that Bible verse. I'll look it up and see if I can find it. But anyway, I just remember that being really potent to me. God's light being so bright and so good that it could, essentially burn away what isn't serving me anymore, the sin in my life. It could burn it away. And so if that resonates with you, I'm feeling prompted to share it. So there it is. But it's the same kind of concept, right? The full moon is just illuminating so that you can burn away what's not going right anymore. Let it go. Let go of the rope. It won't hurt as much. If something isn't serving you anymore, but you feel like you should, you have to, you're obligated to, you can't stop because then, I don't know, you die or people might not like you. Like these are the scenarios that a lot of us in our human designs get caught up in. Just general people, we do these things, have to, must, we get caught in these loops, and we just need a quiet moment to illuminate, but why do I feel like I have to? Why does that need to be done yesterday? Is it really part of something that's in the direction of where I'm headed, or has it served me? And it's no longer failure to let it go. It's actually making room and space. So I guess it's as simple as that, really. I don't want to get so far in the weeds of this, pun intended, right? Garden theme. But I don't want to get so far in the weeds of this that it becomes anything but practical for you. You don't have to know what the energy means. You don't have to believe that the moon has any potency in your life. Although, y'all, think about the oceans and the tides and the fish and their mating cycles. Like the moon rules it. It's pretty cool. I mean, the moon is so cool, guys. We talked about moon phasing on this podcast. Oh, it was like mid to early last year. And I still moon phase and productivity and planning my productivity by the moon is something I also do. So I can get way into the weeds of this. And the other thing that I love to do with the moon is to take a look at my astrology chart. For example, our next full moon is just in a day or two. It's going to be the 3rd, Saturday the 3rd. So tomorrow when you're listening to this. Or it might be a few days ago if you're listening in the future, but the January 3rd, 2026 is full moon in Cancer. Cancer is about emotions. Cancer is about the depth of, it's a watery sign. And so it's emotional. It feels really good with the moon. So like I am a nerd about astrology too. So for me, I like to take this further. I like to see, like, okay, well, what house is it transiting? For me, it's my 6th house. I'm going to be thinking about things like mundane tasks and how am I feeling about the way that my life and rhythms and daily habits are looking? Is there anything there that I want to let go of? Anything I want to release? So I can kind of go a little bit deeper and find a theme and be more specific to me personally. But you don't need that. If you like that, it's really a fun little rabbit hole to check in on a couple times a month. But if you're just looking for a fresh approach that's super practical, that you can fit into your everyday life, you can do it in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. Take a piece of paper and this weekend, or right when you listen to this, be like, hey, full moon gives me an opportunity to look at what's in my life. What is it that's no longer working for me? What am I holding on to and it's harming me more than it's helping me? What is it that I can let go of and just remind myself that it's not failure to let this go, it's making space. Period, end of story. Do that today. And then come over to our Facebook group and tell us what you just came up with. Right? It can be generic too. You don't have to share your personal life, but I love this conversation and it's so important to just check in with your internal world. You are the only person that matters when it comes to what it is that you can let go of and what you can plant in your life. No one's going to tell you what it is. They might try and you're not going to listen because that's not how it works. You have to be the authority in your life when it comes to where you're going, how you're creating it, what seed you're planting. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. It's not hard. Don't make it hard. Just put something down and then next month, check in again. What do you think of this? Would you give it a try? And then let me know what you think. It served me very, very well. And I shared a story that what prompted this episode and the reason I wanted to put it in as a practical tool for you to use is I have seen in my life with that story a few weeks ago, I shared that was in June, the full moon, I let go of this. And then in December, I started planting seeds here and I could see the difference in that 6 months. Well, this is happening now all the time. I'm tracking it by journaling. So if you like this idea, Mark your dates on the calendar 2 times a month, sit with yourself, do a few journal prompts. And you can, even if you don't want to remember planting seeds versus what I'm letting go, like you could just have these few journal prompts for the 2 times a month that you check in with yourself. Doesn't even have to be about the moon. So here's your questions. What's taking most of my time and energy? And just be honest with yourself. No one needs to know but you. Just be honest. How do I feel lately? Really be honest with yourself. How am I feeling? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling busy? Am I feeling like I can't catch up? Am I feeling pretty calm and peaceful? What is it? Don't guess don't guess it. Don't try to come up with something. Just sit until you have an answer. And then don't make it mean anything. Just observe it. Another prompt for your check-ins. What feels misaligned or unfinished, undone? Where am I feeling undone? And then ask yourself, what would just a little better be? What would the next right step look like for me? Because I'm not here to change up your whole life. I'm not here to blow up your life and make you do everything different. I don't want that for you. As a coach, I pride myself on using human design to help you take tiny little next right steps that are simple and they aren't going to blow up your life. You don't have to, we're not talking about a crash diet here. We're just talking about simple, consistent, coming back to you, who you were meant to be, getting rid of all the mess, like cleaning it up, if you will. We can't really get rid of the mess, can we? That's the whole point, is we don't have to blow up our lives. We don't have to get perfect before we can make changes. We just live our lives to the best of our ability, keep checking in with who we are on purpose, intentionally, inside of a messy middle. You can definitely add on deeper things like your human design type or your astrology house, like I mentioned. But really, I'm just giving you permission that simple works. Give yourself the gift this year of something along the lines of asking yourself some internal questions that no one else needs to know about. Just you checking in on you at least twice a month. And it's really fun to use the moon with it. Today's episode is not about becoming someone new. It's not about big changes. It's really about staying in relationship with yourself and an invitation to just give it a try. No strings attached. I'm not going to say, did you make your New Year's resolution? Because if you like the idea of checking in with yourself, do it. And if you think about it later and you haven't done it yet, just do it then. Let's make this easy. Let's make it simple. And I want to give you a little update. I did come up with my word of the year, and by come up with, I received it. And that is really the whole process of the one word to change your life. It's about unplugging, settling down, reflecting, and allowing that word to come in. Receive your word for the year, not choose it. And I was laying in a float. I do flotation therapy at Serenity Now Float Spa, which, by the way, plug, come and see them. It's such a great place. It's in O'Fallon, Missouri. I was laying in the float and I was talking out loud, as I often do. I always have. I've always been an out loud prayer too. All right. I'm not going to force it, but I'm ready to receive my word of the year. The word trust really served me so many ways. And I started talking about all the ways that I was so grateful that trust was my word for 2025. And I said, I'm ready to receive my word for 2026. And then I said, I wonder if my words receive. What if my words receive, I think is what I said. And all of a sudden I got like chills all over my body. And it wasn't because the water was cold. I was like, okay, receive it is. So my word for 2026 is receive. And I am so eager to see how that unfolds in my life. I know that receiving help and receiving compliments, receiving anything is actually something that I know I need to work on. I have like layers of it. It's gone from, oh, Katie, you look pretty today. Oh, no, I don't. I'm so gross. To, oh, thanks for thinking that. It's like this one step up, and I'm ready to, I don't know, that's where my mind goes, where I can maybe by the end of the year receive a compliment and really believe that that compliment is true and that I can believe it too. And so many other things. There's so much about, like, Abraham Hicks has this whole thing about being in the energy of receptivity. So I'm going to read that. If you have any tips for me on what you've learned about receiving, I'm open to it, and I invite that in, because this is going to be my anchor, my theme for 2026. If you found yours, I can't wait to hear what it is. I love connecting on Instagram, on Facebook. TikTok's my favorite for human design, if you're over there. And I am going to be offering tons of workshops this year, partnerships coming up, popping up all over, with Detox, with Barber and Spa, with several companies in the area. So if your company has a wellness initiative and they need a yoga teacher, or they need a human design person, if your HR has an initiative for team building or people loving where they work and we need communication support, that is what I do. And I would love to get you on the calendar. I still have some openings for first quarter, but so excited about this year, and I can't wait to keep that conversation going. Hey, let me know if you take my challenge to check in with yourself at the full moon and the new moon. I know that it will serve you well. All right, until next week.
Thanks for tuning in to Inspired by Design with Katie Rupert. If today's episode sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your takeaways, subscribe, or even leave a review to help others find the show. For more tools and insights, visit my free Facebook group. And until next time, keep embracing exactly who you are and move forward, one inspired action at a time.